one day is one day. I will own one of these bad boys. This is the Audi RS7, and yes, it's my dream car. Like everyone wants a Lamborghini and a Mustang, the RS7, oh my word, she is my love of my life. Okay, but nevertheless, let's talk a little bit about this RS7. It is a V8 BI turbo, which means it's got a twin turbo in, even though I am not a big fan of the turbo setup on this car. To give you an idea of how these turbos are situated, is they are situated at the top of the engine. That's right, and the engine even has an engine cover. Can you believe it? So the turbos found on this car, ew, that's ugly, Max. Sorry, that's off topic. So the turbos found on this car is not very good in my terms, but this car is still over 400 kilowatts stock standard. So this is a 4-liter V8 engine. So what I did in this video was I actually tuned the stock standard engine we get in the car, which is the 4-liter V8. If you would like to see any engine conversion or whatsoever and obviously want to tune for it, let me know in the comments below. I'll quickly jump in and have the video out for you within a week. But nevertheless, let's quickly show you guys what I've done to the car. So if we go here to upgrades and tuning, we're gonna go custom upgrades, and here for the conversion, just to show you guys, we are still at the stock. So we've got two options, the 5.2 liter V10. This is probably the Audi R8 engine because that's also a 5.2 liter and it's a V10. And then here we got a 3 liter 16T. I'm not sure what the 16 is for. Could that be the valves and then turboed? I am not sure, but nevertheless, for the drivetrain we are still on all-wheel drive, which is Quattro for Audi. And then we don't have the wide body kit. I just don't like this fin in front of the headlights. It just looks horrible, but at the back it does look pretty cool. I mean, it's a bit too wide for me. It looks much better on the RS6 than the RS7, so I decided not to go with it. So let's quickly run through the engine. We have got the biggest induction kit installed, injectors, those were ignition coils if I'm not correct. Yes, ignition. So for the valve train, the exhaust, turbos obviously at max, and then we're gonna go to the intercoolers, the oil coolers. I've decided to do it. So there's, as I say in literally all my videos, there is like some kind of problem with this. As you guys can see where I'm now here at the top, it's minus 8 kilowatts, so meaning that if I go to the stock standard one, I'm gonna lose 8 kilowatt. But look at the weight here at the bottom. Oh gosh, I hate it if my cursor doesn't show on the screen. I don't know why it does that. But the car weighs 1.520 tons. If I put an oil cooler in, it weighs 1.532 tons, which means for 8 kilowatts, you only, for 8 kilowatts, it weighs 12 kilograms. So that's actually very heavy, but I just installed it nevertheless. For the flywheel, we have the max installed. Let's quickly go over to the, oh, sorry, that was my mistake. We're going to go over to the suspension. We have got the rally suspension in. For the sway bars, we got race and race. We don't have a roll cage in because that just adds to a bunch of weight. And going over to the weight reduction, we obviously have the biggest one installed. Going over to drivetrain, we've got a racing clutch. We have got the race transmission. But you see, this transmission is a bit different than the usual one. This race transmission is an 8-speed. If you go over here, this is the 6-speed one, 7-speed, 9-speed. So the 8-speed is the actual race transmission. I just decided to keep it because this car just loves short gears. You'll see it when I show you guys the gear ratio. It's running after the short gears. Having a look at race drive, the driveline, it's a race. The differential is also a race. Going over to the tires, obviously we have some slicks on. For the front tire, we got the biggest brothers on and the biggest brothers at the back. Going over to the rim size, you can take anything, just make sure they weigh the least. So obviously I got myself these ones you guys are seeing now. Going over to the aerodynamics, we didn't install any aerodynamics. I just decided to go without it, but that's personal preference. It also adds a little bit to weight. So let's quickly talk about the tuning. So over here, our tire pressure is at its lowest. This adds to drag, and drag adds to grip. So this is literally just to make sure we can get off of the line. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Quattro has got a really good grip system. Even in this game, even when I tuned the R8, these cars, they barely spin. You can really take the tire pressure up if you want to. Just play a bit around it. Once again, this tune is just a baseline tune. You can still work from it. Going over to the gearing here, you guys will see I did shorten it out. And also in the graph at the bottom right corner, I just smoothed each gear out. I'm not gonna lie. 8 gears is a lot, but this car shifts very quick. You can try the 6 gear, what do you call it, the 6-speed transmission. I believe it's gonna be good as well. But once again, this car loves to be in the high RPMs, especially because of its weight. This car just weighs so darn much. But nevertheless, here we go to alignment. So the camber front is -8 and the rear is +1.8. Reason being is, as soon as you pull away, your nose lifts up. So this negative will become like a flat 0. And obviously, when you pull away, the weight goes to the back. The rear end of the car drops to the ground, which is going to compress the rear springs and all of these things, which will make a positive into a negative. So then we got 0, 0, +7. So for the camber, if you guys are interested to see or trying to understand why camber is so important and why my numbers are so odd, I made a video about it telling you guys actually how it works in proper detail. I'll drop a card for you in the top right corner. Going over to anti-roll bars, we got all of them at stiff. I just like to keep them at stiff just to make sure we don't have got too much body flexing. Going over to these springs, we got the front at about halfway and the rear just about 3/4 of the way, just a bit more stiffer. So obviously the rear, obviously as the weight from the front goes to the back, is going to flex the rear axle a bit more and all of these things. But the suspension being stiff is just going to make sure that it doesn't go down too darn far. Going over the ride height, obviously you want your front to be a little bit closer to the ground than the rear, just to make sure that obviously if both of them were equal, your nose will lift up. It's just going to lift up even more. It's going to flex the rear suspension even more. So you want your rear to be a little bit higher just to take more of the center weight of your car just a bit more forward. Going over to damping, as you guys can see, our rebound front and our bump rear are the same, and our rebound rear and our bump front is also very similar. So this is just to make sure our car has got some good grip, especially when it comes to how the suspension is pressing out and compressing in. For the aerodynamic parts, we didn't do anything. For the brakes, I actually just tweaked it a little bit. I took it from 100 to 75. This car just weighs a lot, so as soon as you press the brakes, the wheels just hook up so darn quick. You just spin for eternity, so I just dropped it a bit. But you can keep it at 100, it's fine. Going over to differential, we got 100, 0, 100, 0, and 70% power to the rear. Okay, so let's quickly head down to the road. We're gonna quickly line up here with the 400 meters mark. So with this car, for some reason, we can use launch control. We can choose 4,000, 3,000, 2. Okay, oh, that's the lowest? That's weird. Anyway, so we can choose where we want to launch. If you don't know how to do it, you can just use your clutch, just activate it by your difficulty settings, and you can literally just hold in your e-brake, accelerate, and then just press and hold your clutch to wherever you want to launch. But nevertheless, with this car, you can launch literally anywhere. Obviously, if you're going to launch with full RPMs, it's going to have a little bit of a wheel spin, but it's not bad at all. You don't have to heat up the tires. Nonetheless, this car's weight and everything is playing towards grip. Let's just quickly get our launch control going again. So I'm going to launch at 4,000, or let's see if we can go a little bit more than 4. About there. Come on, buddy, push it. We're gonna run the 5th gear through. 235. I think my base was a 236. I probably just maybe have limited or something. But anyway, that is still very good nevertheless. And oh my gosh, she's a beauty. I'm just very upset about the weight. This car weighs so much, but look at it. It is so huge. Okay, nevertheless, let's quickly go and do a drag race for you guys. So let's quickly go over the difficulty settings. So as you can see here, traction control is off, stability is off, manual with clutch. Let's quickly go to start event. Make me proud, buddy. Make me proud. Ah, come on. Come on. This is a real tough competition. Come on, we got this. Oh, we're going. We're going. Oh, wait, was there another car? Oh my gosh, is that an RS6 in front of us? Okay, it definitely probably had... Oh, that's a bad time. That RS6 probably had an engine conversion, even though their stock standard original motor is exactly the same. Oh, that's the RS4. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway guys, there we go. I do hope that this video kind of helped you out. A good informative video in hopefully in such way to give you an understanding of how to tune this car. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a big like. If you'd love to support the channel, hit the logo at the bottom right corner to subscribe. If you want to see a similar video, hit the icon on the left. If you want to see one of my most recent videos, hit the icon on the right, and then I'll see all of you legends in my next video. But for now, peace out everyone.